Very good afternoon and welcome to AFC Bournemouth's Vitality Stadium ahead of what is set to be another historic afternoon for AFC Bournemouth women's side. Only the second ever time they'll play a competitive match here at Vitality Stadium, and we're expecting another record-breaking crowd. Of course, they played here just over a year ago with a brilliant 4-1 win against Chesham in front of nearly 1,600 supporters. Already ahead of today's game, nearly 3,000 tickets sold, and I'm sure that number will probably go up come kick-off at 2 o'clock. We'll be bringing you the live commentary, myself, Jordan Clark, and Dave Stadden as well from AFC Bournemouth Women's Development Setup, the Women in Juniors. Dave, great to have you there. Thank you very much
for joining
us.
Thanks very much for having me.
What an occasion for the women's side today. They did it last year, they'll do it again today against Maidenhead in the National League and in front of a record crowd.
It really is a special day for the club, a special day for the girls, and obviously all the parents and everyone associated with the girls and their journey to get to this point today, and we're really looking forward to it. I know I certainly am, and we're looking forward to watching a young AFC Bournemouth women's first team take on the challenge against Maidenhead.
In terms of the two teams today, you mentioned there that the age of Steve Cuss's side, they lost some experienced players over the summer. It is a young side at the moment, but it's still got quite a mix. Let's run through the team today. So we're expecting Bournemouth to line up 4-3-3, and they're missing, as we say, experience in terms of players leaving in the summer, but also some away on beach soccer duty today as well.
Yes, Molly Clark and Katie James not in the matchday squad today. They're out in Mexico playing on the sand, and good luck to them. But it's a really great opportunity for some of the other girls to step in and really stake a claim for future spaces into the team and going forward into the plans for next season as well, to really make Steve have really good thoughts about what they're going to do for next season.
Who should we look out for from that Cherry starting 11 today?
I think that the front three in particular are going to cause Maidenhead a lot of problems. Lucy, Pearl and Molly on the left wing. Awful lot of pace, awful lot of goals in the side out of those three, and really great, young, enthusiastic players.
And we can see the Maidenhead side here now as well. Now, they've been struggling so far this season, had a difficult start to the campaign. Obviously, without a manager who wasn't appointed until September, they find themselves just outside the bottom two. Do you know too much about them ahead of this game in terms of the threat that they might pose?
I think what I know is that for sure they've been on an upward trajectory. They've been improving a lot over recent games. They've taken some of the clubs up near around us in the division to close score lines. They were close against Exeter. They've been close twice against Southampton women in recent weeks. So they're definitely on an upward curve, and they're going to fancy the chances coming here today and playing at this wonderful arena to go and make a name for themselves as well, I'm sure.
It's Division 1 southwest of the National League. Bournemouth find themselves fourth in the table, still in a bit of a battle at the moment with, 3 games remaining in terms of those places for third, fourth and fifth. Of course, with Moneyfields, who also play today, and Southampton Women FC as well, in terms of where Steve Cuss's side could potentially finish. A win today, though, would take them back up to third, providing Moneyfields slip up, and they've got a really tough game against Cardiff.
Yeah, and I believe that, news this afternoon, I believe that game's just been called off as well.
Okay.
So it's a great chance for us to put some more points on the board. I'm a big believer in, points on the board are the big thing. Even with clubs around them, they've still got to go and get those points. So I think it's a great opportunity to go one step, and we want as many points on the board as you can. It's unlikely that we're going to get out of the division in terms of promotion, but you want to be right up there and build momentum into next season, really finish strong over the next 3 games, our last home game here of the season today, to really make sure we've got that full momentum, as I mentioned.
You'll be able to see the stream right across AFC Bournemouth's YouTube, Facebook and Twitter accounts this afternoon from kick-off at 2. And a big thanks to our sponsors ESET for making it possible as well. Dave, we mentioned the crowd, the atmosphere. How do you think the players will deal with it? What will Steve Cuss be saying to them in the dressing room at the moment ahead of walking out onto the pitch? Yeah,
I've been really lucky to be in a little bit earlier with the girls down there, and there's a real excitement, a real buzz, as there should be. What a great day for them. It's about keeping things as normal as possible, although it's obviously not as normal. But we want to try and keep to the same pre-match routines. You want to try and make sure that you take the nerves out of it. I'm sure the girls will be putting themselves under some internal pressure to perform and do well in front of what is a spectacular crowd going absolutely nuts here as they get ready to come out the tunnel. And I'm sure that the girls, after 10-15 minutes, the game will settle and we'll start to see them really sort of showing their stuff.
You can hear the noise there as the players make their way out onto the pitch. Bournemouth led by captain Maisie Smith, and welcomed out onto the pitch as well by the flag bearers this afternoon and the mascots. And it's great to see all four of Bournemouth's junior teams involved in this afternoon, Dave. As we said, welcoming the players out onto the pitch there as flag bearers, mascots, and they're going to be ball runners as well, dotted around. Yeah,
we really keen to get all our girls teams involved today. It's inspirational for them to see some role models. We've got some girls in our 16s that are actually the same age as some of the girls on the pitch today, so it's a great chance for them to see the role models. The under 10 age groups walking the players out, really special for them. And our under 12s on the flags, giving them a good old wave and stirring up that crowd. So it's really great to see them here. And our 14s, I'm sure, are going to be making loads of noise from the stands as well.
Let's run through the two teams for you again in full then. We'll start with Bournemouth. Katie Scadding in goal. Still only 21 years of age, but one of the more experienced players in the side. It'll be a back four of captain Maisie Smith at right back. Amber Treweek, Kelly Fripp and Abby Jones make up that defensive four. A midfield three of Ellie Jenkins, Jess Treweek, sister to Amber, Caitlin Elliott, and then an attacking front three, as Dave said, to watch out for as far as Maidenhead are concerned, in Lucy Cooper with 14 goals already this season. Pearl Mortimer, 4 goals in 6 matches for her, making a real impact in the side at the age of just 18. And young 16-year-old Molly Gladwell as well. On the bench for Bournemouth this afternoon, Hannah Francis, Hannah Hughes, Christina McKinson, who could be coming on to make her debut at the age of just 16, Ruth Topping and Holly Humphreys, who is named on the bench, but unfortunately due to a serious knee injury, isn't actually part of the matchday squad in terms of being able to play today. But I'm very pleased to say that she does join us live in the commentary box alongside myself and Dave Stadden for the game. Holly, great to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. Just tell us a little bit about your injury, first of all, and why you've not been able to go out there and play this afternoon.
Yeah, well, a few months ago I tore my ACL playing and just haven't played for a while. Be out for the next year or so.
Howabouts did it happen in terms of, it's a nasty injury which we hear about so often these days. Many footballers are suffering those nasty ACL injuries.
Yeah, well, I was just running back and a defender stood on my foot and I tried to turn and my foot didn't.
You've been out there involved in the warm-up though. How's that been?
Yeah, it's been good. It's a really good atmosphere and hopefully just enjoy it today and get the win.
Just about ready to get underway at Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth against Maidenhead in the Women's National League Division 1 South West. Your Maidenhead side, they'll play 4-2-3-1. Gemma Harvey in goal. Malhotra, Paul, Blore and Thompson across the back. Carville and Saunders, your two holding midfielders. Then it's Lunn, Fisher and Halfacre, the attacking three in behind Natalie Cowell, who lead the line for the visitors this afternoon. They have a bench of Cipriano, O'Brien, Thomas, Stockton and Carty Dehaney. As we said, Moneyfield's third bottom of the league at the moment. Could still drop down to second bottom. Just the 5 wins for them. Bournemouth, in contrast, up in 4th in the table, battling with Moneyfields and Southampton women for 3rd, 4th and 5th spot come the end of the season. It is Cardiff and Exeter who are battling out still for the title and promotion. Good headed clearance at the back there. And Maidenhead will try and work it through the middle through Halfacre. Too much on that, safely through to Scadding.
It's great for Katie to be able to have an early touch in the game as well. Often we forget the importance on these big occasions of just keeping it simple when you first get it and really building yourself into the game as an individual.
Captain Smith down the right for the Cherries. Mortimer brings it under control really nicely. Couldn't find the through ball. Good defending at the back there.
Molly Gladwell, the left-footed player, going to take this one, so we can expect the ball to be in swinging. If they don't pick the short option here, so the goalkeeper could be in some early pressure.
Near enough everyone heading forward. Maisie Smith hanging around at the back for the Cherries. It is a deep one. It's headed goalwards and over the bar. Good early chance for the Cherries there. Probably should have done better.
Yeah, Pearl's really great in the air. She loves the battle, and she's always willing to put her head in, and that's why she scores the goals that she scores. Lots of goals across our college programme, our development team, and here's 39 in total for the season so far for Pearl across all of our AFC Bournemouth squads. And she'll be pleased if she's got an early effort, but like I said, disappointed she hasn't hit the target.
Headed away by Fripp at the back. Some time and space for Abby Jones down the left-hand side for the Cherries. That's a lovely touch infield. Mopped up in the middle of the park. Or Maidenhead by Imogen Fisher. Jones with the throw-in. Heavy touch in there by Ellie Elkins.
A couple of throw-ins now. We've not quite got that ball under control and managed to bring it out of the area of pressure. Just again, that early part of players just maybe being a little bit of a rush, too much to move the ball on. But just enjoy it, girls, and take it down and get that ball under control.
Bournemouth win back possession well. Little opening there for Gladwell. Comfortably into the arms of Gemma Harvey. Great atmosphere inside here already, Dave.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm looking out over the spectators here, and to see almost 2 stands full here is really great. And I know the girls are really keen to put on a great show, and there may be moments in the game where we need the crowd to put on the show for us as well and really spur the girls along.
All over the top from Maidenhead. Eventually, the Cherries sorting themselves out. Katie Scadding taking control of the situation.
Just going back to that last attack that Bournemouth, where the ball didn't quite break for Molly's, those types of situations is exactly what Maidenhead are going to want to try and avoid, are those transitions into midfield, particularly with the pace of the front three and the ability of Jess Trerick in particular and Caitlin Elliott in midfield to find them with forward passes. It could be very dangerous for them.
Good pressing there from Maidenhead, giving Bournemouth any time on the ball. Cherries recovering well through Abby Jones. Back with Harvey. Jones again, who's seen a lot of the ball down this left-hand side in the early stage of the game. Helping there from Treweek, and here's Fisher again for Maidenhead. It's a good-looking ball. Scadding read the play really well, though.
She'll always be really positive in her start position, Katie, and she loves to be involved as well as a goalkeeper. She doesn't like to disappear onto a line, so she'll be really alert for anything in behind.
Scadding again, forced to come out and collect. Good defending in there, a bit of help from Kelly Fripp inside the 18-yard area. Treweek. In terms of the 2 sisters we got in the side today, Dave, as well, Jess and Amber. One been here a slightly longer time than the other.
Yeah, Jess joined us in the summer, moving over from AFC Stoneham, a player that we've admired for a little while, and has come through our college programme that we have in conjunction with Brockenhurst College. And I'll cut back to you here. Could be a good attack.
Here's Gladwell, edge of the box, onto her left foot, does well to try and get round the outside, goes down, appeals for a penalty, waved away by referee Dom Forrester.
And there's that pace. She's got that ability to really frighten fullbacks. I think it's probably the right call from the referee, but it was definitely something that was going to be in his mind early stages there, whether he was going to give it or not.
Free kick for handball.
Just going back again to Jess and Amber. So Jess joined us in the summer, and Amber joining us around Christmas time, coming back from some time away in America. Real great additions to the squad. Slightly different players. Jess more technical, will really find a pass from midfield, has got an eye for goal. And Amber's a great out-and-out defender, will head it, but has great ability to come out and play as well.
Probing ball there from Amber Treweek into the edge of the box. Amber, the older of the 2 sisters, arriving from America as well. Charlotte University in South Carolina. Great experience out there, I'm sure. Here's Jones. Bit of space to move into again down the left-hand side. Support further forward from Gladwell. Down the left, instead goes through the middle to Mortimer. Jones has stayed centrally. Here's Gladwell again. Lovely ball across the face of goal. Danger still not cleared as far as Maidenhead are concerned. And then Tipped over the bar by Gemma Harvey.
Great little effort. Half hoping that would just fall the other side of the goalkeeper, but great save. And again, we can see, as I highlighted earlier, that pace is really causing Maidenhead some problems. Abby Jones being able to bring the ball out from the back because the fullback's going back so deep to worry about Molly's pace on the left wing. So some really great encouraging signs for the home side here.
Ellie Elkins it was at the back post, just unable really to bring it under control as it bounced up in front of her. Would have been a tight angle anyway to try and squeeze it past Harvey. Second corner of the game for the Cherries. Good headed clearance from Maidenhead. That's well won back in there again. It's going to come in from Elkins. Lovely ball. Too much on it for Pearl Mortimer.
It's been a great start. Really good. I mean, Maidenhead, a couple of balls over the top of the defence that Katie's dealt with, but we've been able to keep them in their half for about 5 minutes now. So sustained period of pressure, and on a big pitch, we really want to make them work as hard as we can for as long as we can.
That's the voice of Dave Stadden, AFC Bournemouth Women's and Girls Development Manager. Holly Humphreys, Bournemouth defender, alongside us as well. Let's bring Holly back here. Holly, what have you made of the opening stages of the game in terms of Bournemouth's performance so far?
Yeah, I think it's been good, very positive, keeping the ball and trying to attack the goal, get an early goal if we can.
Holly, it's a very young side as well at the moment. We discussed this before the game. Obviously, you're a big part of that and made some history yourself. How important is it that you've got that bit of balance in there with the likes of Maisie Smith in defence as well, who brings that experience?
Yeah, I think it's really important for the younger players to be guided by them, to help them out through the pressure and the game as well. So I think it's important.
Come Maidenhead again down the right through Malhotra. Back to Fripp.
I know it's an old adage, but really here we have the opinion of our young players that if they're good enough, they're old enough. So we've had a lot of players come in. There's a lot of players in our development team as well that we have positive, encouraging signs for the future. So we really, really love our youth teams here, and we're really, really proud of them.
Elkins looking for the ball to Gladwell. Too much on it. Well, that role that Elkins is playing in the side, we've seen her out on the right, now moved in more centrally. Dave, you said it could be fluid.
Yeah, Ellie's the type of player that she loves getting the ball, so she want to be in the action all the time. So you'll see her drift slightly wider, sometimes to the manager's frustration, because you'd like her in some key positions, but she has a great knack of being able to open up the game with a shot, with a dribble, by instinctively finding those spaces in the forward areas. So defensively, she's got to be alert, but certainly attacking-wise, could be a real threat.
Too much on that ball from Maidenhead, looking for Lunn over on the left-hand side. In front of a nearly packed-out main stand here at Vitality Stadium. Approaching 3,000 tickets sold ahead of kick-off today. That number probably up. A record crowd. Well surpassing the 1,600 inside for the game against Chesham last season. Long free kick to the edge of the box. Fisher brings it under control. Good block in there from Smith. Comfortable for Scadding.
Katie certainly seems to be a crowd favourite early on in the game. Every time she's got it, she had a big crowd from that stand, big cheer from that crowd behind her. So I know she'll be really appreciative of that. And Katie does a lot of great work in the community as a Community Sports Trust coach as well, working with our ETC teams and as well as our disability programme. So really a great young role model.
And at 21 still, I think I'm right in saying, but she's been here an awful long time. 3 promotions already with the women's side.
Yeah, great. And she's had to really dig in last year. Didn't play as much as she would have liked, I'm sure, being the number 2 goalkeeper, but has really stepped up this year and has really taken that time over the last year to mature and get stronger. And as we've seen so far, real crowd favourite.
Free kick to be taken by Amber Treweek. Way too much on it. That will bounce easily through to Harvey in the Maidenhead goal, who's been called out into action on a couple of occasions early doors, tipping one over the bar. Bournemouth certainly started the better of the two sides. They met back in January, these two. Bournemouth coming out on top, a 3-2 win for them, away at Maidenhead. Bethany Everson with the goal in the 87th minute. It's actually Amber Treweek who provided the assist coming off the bench on her debut back then. She brings it under control at the back again there.
I know that was a particularly tough game. Maidenhead coming back twice. As I mentioned earlier, I think we'll know that they're going to have some spirit. They've been on an upward trajectory, made us work very hard for that result, and what I believe was an absolutely freezing January day. So it was great to get that win, and that really kicked off the year for us.
Molly Clark with the other two on that day. She's not here today. Away on England beach soccer duty, Team GB beach soccer duty. Cross in, and that's a testing one. Scanning, backpedaling. I think it was meant to be a cross.
We've seen Maidenhead not be frightened to take a couple of shots from outside the box already, so we're certainly going to have to watch out for that. And for those that don't watch an awful lot of women's football, that long distance shot can be a real threat at this level.
Half acre it was. Come Bournemouth at the other end now. Looking for Lucy Cooper. Cooper been the main goal threat for Bournemouth this season. Prolific coming up through the age groups. What can you tell us about Lucy Cooper?
Yeah, Lucy, since I joined the club, was in our under-12, so she's come right the way through and has always scored goals. She's been all about that. She loves scoring goals, and that's great. And we've been able to nurture that, and the coaches that she's had over the years, and her own development and support. I know that she has a great family at home that are really encouraging and really supportive, and she's really taken to women's football like a duck to water, and she's been absolutely great for us.
Good pressing in there by Maisie Smith, who stayed forward from the early attack. Eventually leads to a Cherries free kick. Smith again. Down the right, looking for Elkins. Cooper over there as well. Lovely little triangle of play down the right-hand side. Some space for Smith. First time cross. Claimed by Harvey.
And that's that vision that Jess Churrick gives you in there. A lovely little reverse chip pass, bringing Maisie and continuing her forward run. And that's exactly what we want to see, that creativity and that little bit of spark in the final third that might make the difference.
Harvey with the clearance, headed on by Carville, one of two holding midfielders for Maidenhead this afternoon. Trying that again down the left in Lunn. Cherries just 2 points in behind Moneyfields, fourth in the table. As Dave mentioned earlier, their game today postponed, so Bournemouth with a chance to get themselves up to third. 3 games remaining in the season, including this one. When you look at the run-ins for the sides in that little mini battle for third, fourth and fifth, you'd say Bournemouth probably with the better of the games. Larkhall and Selsey to come. And remaining 2 games of the season, both away from home for Steve Cuss's side. Both teams down the bottom end of the table. Moneyfields, though, with a game in hand, and we'll have another game in hand, so 2 after today with their postponement. Jones, well won back. It's a lovely ball down the line, looking for the run of Gladwell again. Those two have linked up really well so far. Good block in there from the Maidenhead centre-back Bethan Paul. Smith looks for that early cross again, charged down by Imogen Fisher.
Again, down the Bournemouth left-hand side, Abby and Molly causing big problems down there. Another good cross into the box, just slightly behind a slightly early run there from Lucy Cooper, but looking really, really encouraging down that side.
Smith forced back towards the halfway line. Fripp. Good touch and turn from Mortimer. Smith does well again. Maidenhead will clear.
It's going to be really important that when Maidenhead cleared it, they try and get hold of the ball, else it's going to feel like a long afternoon for them with the ball keep coming back towards them and having to defend for long periods. It's going to be really important that the Cowell up front has been able to get hold of that ball and give them a chance for a little bit of a breather and maybe mount a tackle to themselves.
Free kick to Bournemouth. Amber Treweek will take it. Again, everyone forward for the Cherries, bar Kelly Fripp, who will just stick back on the halfway line. Trewick with the free kick. Back in towards the edge of the box. And Cooper with a heavy touch gives away the free kick.
I think the Bournemouth coaching staff, Steve and Matt down there, will be wanting a little bit more from some of these set pieces. Had a couple of opportunities to put the ball in, albeit from slightly deeper areas, but just slightly second best at the moment on those first contacts. And it's going to be really important if we continue to get opportunities to put the ball in the box that we try and make that first one, and the players around the second phase will be able to sort of pounce and maybe get the chance to put it in the back of the net.
Steve Cuss's side coming into this game off the back of a brilliant win over Pompey women in the Hampshire Senior Cup, but that was way back in the middle of March. So in terms of getting yourself going again, it's probably going to take a little bit of time this afternoon. And there's a loose pass in there given away to Cowell. Too much on the cross from Lunn.
Yeah, that Portsmouth result was a really fantastic result for us, and I think it will give a young squad, as we've mentioned a lot of times, a real sense of belief to beat a squad flying high in the league above and ending their sort of 13-year hold on the Hampshire Cup. And we've got a great cup final to look forward to, which is against Southampton, local rival Southampton RTC.
Long-range effort has Scadding backpedaling well over a bar into the north stand here at Vitality Stadium.
Yeah, so that game taking place on the 10th of March. 10th of May, sorry, which is going to extend the season. It's always great to look forward to a cup final, but that game should, like I said, have given great belief. And although we've not played for a little while, training's been excellent. We've been utilising all of our women's teams to have a really competitive training environment to make sure that they're all ready for this game. And if you can't get up for a game like this, then you've got to question if you're at the right place.
Run back by Jones. What a run this is by Jones. Still going. He's beaten 3 Maidenhead players all the way to the edge of the box. Support in the middle if she can find it. Brilliant run by Abby Jones there, winning the ball back. Surging forward, just slightly off balance there at the key moment when she needed to put that cross in and try and pick out a red and black shirt.
Abby's been great for us. Abby's another player that came into our women's team when she was 16 years old. Had a really great time with our youth teams and has really flourished playing it right back, playing it left back today as well. She's got that real raw pace that real's a problem for lots of sides.
All over the top, looking for Cowell, brings it under control with some strong play, trying to get it onto her left foot. Big, important tackle in there. Back out. Alicia Lunn unleashing one goalwards. Scadding comfortably letting it, watching it go wide.
Look pretty close from up here, but again, that long shot, that chance to get your shots away from distance is looking like one of the main threats for Maidenhead at the moment, as well as a couple of balls in the box. So Bournemouth's got to be really careful about where they risk the chance to play some more slightly outlandish passes, or whether they play a little bit more safe in those defensive areas.
Big important tackle in there from Amber Treweek as well, just as Cowell was looking to pull the trigger. Gladwell back on defensive duties to Fripp. It's Jones again. Been involved in a lot of Bournemouth's good play down this left-hand side so far inside the opening 20 minutes. Fripp with the clearance again.
Be really great if we were to see Bournemouth open up the pitch that little bit more and utilise Lucy and Maisie on that right-hand side. We saw them involved in an earlier piece down the attacking third with Jess with a little reverse pass from Maisie. It would be great to see them a little bit more involved in the game as well.
Fisher with the heavy touch, looking for Malhotra. Elkins. Back to Fripp. Fripp, born in Dorset, arrived from the neighbours just down the road in Southampton. Made that central defensive berth her own back there. Important player in Steve Cuss's side, and she is again.
Real leader back there as well, and I know a lot of the young girls really look up to her, and Kelly sets a great example with her professionalism.
Lunn, bit of space to move into. Can't get the cross away. Block in there by Elliott. Danger still not cleared for the Cherries. Thompson. Good tackle. It's got the crowd going inside Vitality Stadium this afternoon. Lund to wind up the long throw. So he's let it bounce. Cowell on the turn. Did well to get any kind of shot goalwards there.
It's really good foreplay from Cowell. What we mentioned earlier, getting hold of that ball and making life difficult for those central defenders. This time, obviously, in the box and not able to get a shot away cleanly, thankfully, for the Bournemouth defenders. But slightly better from Maidenhead and keeping the ball in the attacking third.
Smith back to Scadding. Fripp again. Patient build-up play. Scadding to Treweek. Now Bournemouth do look to go long down that right-hand side again. Looking for the run of Lucy Cooper. Saunders, the Maidenhead captain.
Just by building up that little bit slower there, that little bit more patience, just enabled Maisie Smith to push on a little bit on that right-hand side and support Lucy for the longer pass, which is the aim of doing that, is to make sure, A, she can be involved in the attack if one continues, but if not, she's there able to stop any counter-attack threat.
Heavy touch in there, dealt with well by Elliott. Elliott's done a really good job in the middle of the park so far in this game.
Another young player joined us in the summer, coming from Reading. Has really been patient this year, spent a lot of time travelling with the team, learning football at this level, and has played quite recently for our development side as well, scoring goals and making big impacts there. So really great to see how our pathway enables players to have the minutes that they need to continue their progression, and to be able to supplement both sides as well as to give them the opportunities.
Fisher there in the middle of the park from Maidenhead, marked closely by Treweek. Not afraid of a tackle. Seen a couple of big ones go in already from the Bournemouth centre-back. Another important one there. Cowell. Out to Halfacre. Good block from Jones. Elliott again just mopping things up, resetting for the Cherries.
Steve Costowner just encouraging his side to have a few more passes in their moves, get a little feel for the game and try and build up a couple of attacks. Again, just look to go a little bit long down that left-hand side, but Maisie will chase after this and maybe win a throw-in or a corner.
Again, Bournemouth look for some room and joy down the right-hand side. Smith unable to keep it in. Goal kick to Maidenhead. More than 20 years now for Steve Cuss as part of the setup here at AFC Bournemouth. Head of community, took over the women's team in 2019. Of course, managerial experience before that for Wimborne Town in the Southern League. Jones there again to cut things off. Halfacre to close Jones down. Nice turn away. And that's a testing ball in, right under the crossbar. Comfortable for Harvey. Just been that final ball so far, Dave, as far as Bournemouth are concerned.
Yeah, just looking to be that little bit more incisive. I'd like to see Naby take the opportunity, maybe travel a little bit further there and raise the tempo of the game, drive at defender, a little 1-2 maybe with Pearl or Molly, just to try and get a little bit closer to the goal with some of these shots and crosses to really cause a little bit more of a problem and put Maidenhead sort of running back towards their own goal a little bit too easy for them to defend in front at the moment.
Too much on that ball there from Carville. Looking for the run of Malhotra. And then a foul on Elliott. Bournemouth win the free kick. Great noise from the north stand. You can hear those young voices in there. big incentive from the club today. Buy an adult ticket with a junior cherry. Get yourself a point. Which will make tickets to see the men's senior team more accessible moving forward. Of course, the men's team with a brilliant 3-2 win away at Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League yesterday. Highlights, reaction, and some great pictures from the crowd available on afcb.co.uk. And a reminder, this stream available across YouTube and AFC Bournemouth's Facebook and Twitter. That's a lovely ball forward, looking for Pearl Mortimer. Good defending in the end from Sarah Thompson.
Pearl really feeds off passes like that, and great defending there to stay with her. That's exactly where she would love that ball to drop.
Cooper with the cross. It's behind Smith, who's run had just advanced too far. Another promising moment for the Cherries.
Just going back to the crowd, I'm sure there's lots of girls out there and lots of people listening at home or wherever you're picking up that have been part of our community-based programs as well, and we really enjoy the work that we do out in the community. Obviously specific focus today on the girls and women's programs, and we're pleased to announce that we'll have some information on our girls and women's trials, which will take place in early June, coming out in the next couple of weeks. So do keep an eye out on our social media pages for those and how you can sign up to be part of them.
That's the voice of Dave Stadden, development squad manager, part of the women's and girls programs here at Vitality Stadium. Cherries defender Holly Humphreys here with us on commentary as well. Holly, what's it been like as a young player coming through the youth setup and breaking into Steve Cuss's first team for you?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I've really enjoyed it from playing in the 10s and then making my way up to the first team. Like, to play with adults, it's a different environment, and it's been really exciting.
How has the step up been? Is it a huge difference? I mean, for you as well at such a young age, at the age of 16?
Well, I think because I played boys football as well, that the physicality wasn't too much, but like, the speed of the game and like the intelligence of the players like increases, and that part is harder to learn.
Maidenhead will try and work something down the left to Lunn. Again, Elliott in there just to break up the play, mop things up. Jones driving forward. Again, Gladwell wide to the left. Here is Gladwell. Jones still there in support. Gladwell find room for the cross. She can. That's a great delivery into the box. Elkins unable to send the header goalwards. Heavy touch by the captain Saunders there.
Yeah, Molly really does have a lovely left foot and another great ball in. You know, the defender really wants to make sure she tries to keep her off her left foot as much as possible. Just adapt her position there slightly to make sure that she can't do that. But again, good play. Abby Jones driving out from the back with that intent to really go and help her score a goal.
A yellow card in there issued to Megan Halfacre. I think from an earlier tackle. Referee Dom Forrester just pointing to the other side of the pitch to explain what the yellow card was for. Comes Treewick with a long-range effort, a tester. Harvey will turn and watch it into the south stand. Ambitious.
Yeah, definitely. But we've, you know, on a wonderful day like today, why not have a wonderful strike, try and find the top corner like that? It would have been great if it had come off, and obviously we've got much more time in the game to see something like that, and I know the crowd would love to see a screamer, and I'm sure there'll be one for the dinner tables for years to come if someone manages to stick one in the top corners.
Cherries unbeaten in 3 against Maidenhead. 6-1 winners in the home game last season. 2 for Abby Jones in that one, a brace for Lucy Cooper as well. Goals for Katie James and Hannah Francis to give them that big 6-1 win. That was played at Potton Park in Verwood. Goals yet to start flying in here at Vitality Stadium. Maybe the big occasion and the big crowd playing a bit of a part in that.
Yeah, I think so. I think as well, you know, you look at Maidenhead's recent results and recent form, although they've not won as many as they would like. They're all close results, 2-1, 2-0, 2-0, 1-0, and then a 0-0 draw. So they don't concede an awful lot of goals, and we just got to make sure we keep patient, and a chance will eventually open up, and when it does, we want to make sure we take it.
Maidenhead again. This time Fisher with the ball forward, too much on it, and through to Scadding. Jones. Fripp joins in again. Looks up for that early ball. Mortimer's dropped deep. Does well to hold on to it the first attempt, but not the second. Here's Cowell. Bulls have done a good job at keeping Cowell relatively quiet so far in this first half. Good tackle by Molly Gladwell.
We've seen both wingers now, Lucy and Molly, really have an appetite to come back and do their defensive work as well. It's going to be really important. And number 6 there for Maidenhead, now Hotcher moving forwards, and it's going to be crucial that Molly and Lucy keep up that focus as we see Lucy just come into the box as well.
That long throw again from Lunn, headed away by Jones. Bit of space on the edge of the box, not dealt with by Bournemouth at the first attempt. Good tackling there by Treweek. Will set Lucy Cooper away, will it? Not quite. Amber Treweek. Bit of room down this left-hand side if Fripp fancies it. Does work its way out to Gladwell. Still Gladwell. Good run from Gladwell. Late tackle in there from Lunn.
That's what pace will do to you. Cause real problems, and 15 just felt like she was going to get away from us. From her point of view, had to take the foul, and possibly lucky to escape a yellow card here. It looked to me like Molly was going to go through and potentially cause some real problems. So I think she can count herself a little bit lucky there.
It'll be Jones to take the free kick for the Cherries.
See if we can make a first contact on this, whether to head it in directly or get that contact in, or really make sure we've got a chance on the second phase as well. So here comes another long ball.
Fripp and Treweek, the two centre-backs, both forward for the free kick. Can Jones find the delivery towards the penalty spot? Good flick on by Cooper. No one really there ready to poach. Another comfortable one for Gemma Harvey. Gladwell charging down the clearance. Support from Mortimer. Mortimer does well to keep it in. Gladwell can't get on the end of the pass. Lunn. Foot in from Jones.
Really like to see Gladwell and Mortimer link up a little bit more. They play regularly for our college programs, I mentioned already, and the link up and the understanding those two have is fantastic. Caused a lot of problems for a lot of sides this year. And I'd just love to see that happen that little bit more, normally through a 1-2.
Good play from Cowell there to get the better of Fripp. Too much on the pass in the end for Lunn. Ball in from Malhotra. Fisher. Laid off to Halfacre. Good solid tackle in there by Jess Treweek. Space and room for Lucy Cooper to run into. Support from Mortimer in the box. Still Cooper. Too much on the cross. Harvey will claim again.
That's that type of pass that Jess Treweek will play all day for. He always weighted perfectly, and with the speed of the front three, that's a real weapon. Lucy would be disappointed not to have picked somebody out there, maybe slightly caught between a cross and a shot perhaps.
Elkins looking for the run of Gladwell. Gladwell again thought she'd got the better of Sarah Thompson there. Play on, says the referee. And then does really well to get back up and get the tackle in there, just as Malhotra was starting to advance into the Bournemouth half. Fisher. good turn by Fisher, skips away from a couple of Bournemouth players. Cowell shoots early, it'll ricochet out to Halfacre. Halfacre round the outside of Smith and then into the Steve Fletcher North stand. Both ends really, it's just been that final bit of quality lacking for both sides.
Yeah, and we're starting to see Fisher and Cowell and Halfacre start to have a little bit more impact in the game in the Maidenhead front line, starting to make that ball stick a little bit more and start to have a little bit of an influence, albeit still Bournemouth will feel that they're very much in control of the game and could cause more problems. Certainly seeing them more involved, which will be a little bit of an alarm bell for Steve, but nothing too alarming at this stage.
Caitlin Elliott, again looking for Gladwell. Malhotra does well, strong play from Malhotra. Gladwell stays down.
Taking a hard impact there, Molly, onto the AstroTurf. She's got a great appetite for the game, so I'm sure she'll bounce back up, rub herself down, and get ready to cause some more problems for the fullback.
Will be just a throw in to Maidenhead, which Malhotra will take. Cowell. Marked closely by Fripp. Felt she should have got the throw in. Cowell again. And Jones doing the marking. Cut off by Fripp. Elliott with the turn. Skips away there from Amy Saunders. Nearly with the through ball to Lucy Cooper. Well won back by Halfacre. On a yellow card. Ball down the line looking for Fisher. Fisher's got Cowell further forward and Lunn arriving as well in the middle. Jones does well to win it back for the Cherries. Testing ball there for Gladwell. Testing, too much on it.
Like to have seen Abby perhaps look inside there, link off Pearl and be able to come out and bring Lucy into the game. We want to try and open up some central spaces that little bit more. A lot coming down the wings at the moment, so although looks promising, you're still further away from that goal. So if we can open up the central areas that little bit more through Pearl, through Jess and Ellie in particular in those more forward-thinking midfield roles, I'm sure that's going to cause Maidenhead a few more problems as well.
Let's bring Holly Humphries back in. Holly, what was the message from Steve Cusser ahead of the game today in the dressing room?
Yeah, we were just told to enjoy it and the experience, the atmosphere with all the fans, and I mean obviously win hopefully if we can, but just to enjoy it really.
How excited are the women's team at the moment as well about what's happening at the club? Obviously the takeover with Bill Foley, he's already expressed the desire to, really show his support for the women's team. I know he can't be here today, but writing in the programme about taking the side forward and really trying to grow it to its maximum potential.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just want to build women's football as big as we can here at the club and take it forward and hopefully get some promotions and win the league and, yeah, just improve.
Jones with the throw-in. Elkins battling to bring it under control. Beaten to it by Carville. Treweek. Amber to her sister Jess. Jess on the turn, can't find the pass. Maidenhead will restart again through Saunders. Out to the left in Halfacre. It's just switched out to that far side now, having started the game down the right. So some room here for the Cherries to move forward through Cooper. Still Cooper. Again, just that final ball, trying to find Mortimer in the middle.
Great chance there. I think, again, maybe caught slightly in two minds as to whether to go for goal or whether to make the cross, and Maidenhead on the attack at the other end.
Halfacre to Cowell. Fisher down the left as well. Cowell try and do it on her own. Wins the corner. Fripp with the block.
Just going back to the Cooper chance there, Lucy's predominantly played a lot of her football down the middle in the spaces that Pearl Mortimer is occupying today. So perhaps just finding a little bit, she's building experience coming from a wider position as to her angles and what choices that she might want to make. But, you know, with the goal scoring potential she's got, perhaps there, be a little bit more selfish and go for goal.
Dangerous ball into the box. Headed clear. Danger still there though. Cowell again. Malhotra. Fired goalwards by Beth and Paul. And that's been the story for Maidenhead, really. When they've had their opportunities, they've just not been able to hit the target in test. Katie Scadding in goal for Bournemouth.
Big chance, big chance. She'll be wanting to do an awful lot better from 10 yards out, more or less centre of the goal. A little bit of a let-off, but that's what you can create. Again, with Cal holding the ball up in the box and bringing things alive. Just seen the replay there, very close.
Best chance of the game, you'd probably say, for Maidenhead there. Paul feels she really should have done better. Lunn, infield to Fisher. One back by Elkins. Can't find Gladwell on this occasion. Malhotra.
They're probably having their best spell in the game over the last couple of minutes, but Bournemouth have always got that transition threat to be able to move the ball forward and attack, as we're seeing here, hopefully.
Elkins does well. No advantage as far as the referee was concerned. Good refereeing there. And pull it back for the free kick for the Cherries. Yeah, Maidenhead 10th in the table. Just one win in their last 7 games. That was a 4-0 victory against the bottom side, St Austell, back in the middle of March. Just 5 wins for Maidenhead over the course of the season. 2 against St Austell. Also beaten Portishead, Larkhall and Selsey as well.
Almost identical free kick situation than before when Abby Jones, but this time Kate Elliott on the ball.
Elliott towards the back post. Trewick can't keep it in. You could see what they were trying to do, just unable to execute.
It'd be interesting if Amber had been able to head that back across goal there, just a couple of inches too high for a jumping reach there. And they've been able to be nodded back across the goal with the keeper slightly off-footed. May have been a chance.
As we approach half-time, head into stoppage time. No real clear-cut chances for either side. Well, maybe that one for Maidenhead just a few moments ago. But even then, Bethan Pole under pressure as she pulled the trigger. And that's been the story of the game really so far. Opportunities created by both teams. That final product, final moment has just been missing. Fripp heads clear. Malhotra again down the right for Maidenhead. Too much on it for Fisher.
Crowd starting to disperse for the half-time hot dogs and cups of tea. Actually, attack here. Ooh. Nearly got that one through there. Pearl through to Lucy. It would have been a real threat. And another missed opportunity just on that final pass.
Just that final moment of composure, really. There is the half-time whistle. A solid first half from both sides. Still yet to see the breakthrough. Half chances, as we said, at either end. Big one for Bethan Poole there, right at the end of the first half for the visitors' Maidenhead. The other end, Gemma Harvey, the Maidenhead goalie, called into action to tip one over the bar. Some dangerous moments down the right for Lucy Cooper and for Molly Gladwell down the left, as far as Bournemouth are concerned, but unable to really test Gemma Harvey in goal for Maidenhead.
I think it's been an interesting team talk for Steve. It'll be very...
One of Bournemouth's best chances of the game here. coming very early on in the match.
I mean, just not able to take that. Was it jumped off that turf that little bit quicker? And another good save from the goalkeeper. Actually had a very good first half. He's looked very, very confident and very assured.
It was that initial ball across the face of goal. Ellie Elkins couldn't sort her feet out in time, and then it came back in. That was where Harvey was called into action, and then this one at the other end. Again, good initial clearance from the Cherries. Maidenhead recycling the ball well right at the end of the first half.
Just keeping the ball alive in the box. I think that, you know, is really important. It's not always going to be the prettiest goal in the world, but keeping the ball alive in the box and making defenders defend when there's loads of people around, and you know, it takes the deflection of someone's knee, it may go in. On that case, just almost got too good a strike on the ball and leant back slightly on it, and Maidenhead will feel like that's a real missed opportunity to perhaps go 1-0 up.
Bethan Paul with the opportunity. Hopefully more goals to come in the second half. Dave, just a final word. What will Steve Cusby saying to his players at the moment?
I think a lot of it is around stay patient. There's still another half to go. You don't have to win the game in the first 45 minutes. It'd be nice to have had a couple more goals. But remembering now that we're attacking the home fans, which I think, you know, will make a big difference. And I know that they're going to get really behind the girls when they come back with their halftime hot dogs and cups of tea and feel refueled and ready to go. So it'll be around patience. I'm sure Steve will ask for a little bit more quality in that final third, just around really committing. If you're going to make the cross, make that your 100% decision. If you're going to shoot and try and go past an opponent, make that your 100% decision. I feel we've been caught a little bit in second guessing ourselves sometimes, but there's still an awful lot of talent on the pitch, an awful lot of talent to come off the bench to impact as well, and I think Steve will be thinking towards that as the half goes on.
And Holly Humphreys, just a final word on that first half. What did you make of the performance from the Cherries?
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad attacking wise. The final pass was too bad. Nil cheat so far, so not doing too bad.
Holly, Dave, thank you very much. They'll be back for second half commentary here on AFCB TV. But at half-time at the Vitality Stadium in front of a record-breaking crowd in the National League. It's AFC Bournemouth women 0, Maidenhead United women 0. Welcome back to Vitality Stadium for the second half of Bournemouth against Maidenhead United, with the scoreline still locked at 0-0. Can Steve Cuss's side find themselves some goals in this second half as they're welcome back out onto the pitch? Thank you for joining us on the live stream, brought to you courtesy of our sponsors ESET. Doesn't look like there are any changes for either side at the break. Let me run through the two teams for you again in full. So Bournemouth in a 4-3-3 formation today as they get into their huddle, ready for the second half. Katie Scadding in goal, back four of Maisie Smith, Amber Treweek, Kelly Fripp and Abby Jones. The midfield three, Ellie Elkins, Jess Treweek and Caitlin Elliott. Across the front line for Bournemouth this afternoon, Lucy Cooper, Pearl Mortimer and Molly Gladwell. On the bench, Hannah Francis, Hannah Hughes, Christina McKinnon, hoping to make her debut in this second half, the 16-year-old. What a moment that would be. And Ruth Topping as well. Holly Humphreys named in the matchday squad, but due to a serious knee injury, unable to play today, so is joining us here in the commentary box for the live stream this afternoon, the Cherries defender, alongside Dave Stadden from the AFC Bournemouth Women's Development Squad. The Maidenhead side for you, Gemma Harvey. It's a 4-2-3-1. The back four, Malhotra, Paul, Blore and Thompson. Carville and Saunders, the two holding midfielders. Halfacre, Fisher and Lunn are the attacking midfield three, in behind the lone striker, Natalie Cowell. On the bench for Maidenhead, Cipriano O'Brien, Thomas Stockton and Carty Dunahay, as Nonny gives us a big cry of Red Army to get the crowd going in the second half. A record crowd for an AFC Bournemouth women's game at Vitality Stadium this afternoon. Nearly 3,000 tickets sold ahead of the game, and more available on the gate today as well, as we get back underway with the scoreline at 0-0. And there were chances, not great chances, but there were chances for both sides at the first half. Bournemouth with an early one here. Cooper available in the middle. Mortimer unable to sort her feet out in time. Let's bring Dave Stadden in.
Yeah, echoes of the first half there a little bit. Again, Pearl probably feeling that she should have gone on and had a shot herself, or committed fully to play Lucy, and in the end sort of does neither, and a great early chance, maybe catching Maidenhead a little bit off guard in the opening minute or so. But again, a good chance, and you know, we don't want to spur too many of those opportunities.
No changes from Steve Cuss at the break. Were you expecting to see any? Just the four subs, very young substitutes bench for Steve this afternoon as well.
Yeah, I don't think that any subs were particularly required in the first half. The game's still very much there for Bournemouth. It's obviously very competitive, and I think the players have done enough to continue to try and make an impact in the next 15-20 minutes or so. I'm sure Steve will look to utilise his bench. He's got some attacking options on there in Christina, as you've mentioned, and Hannah Hughes and Hannah Francis with a real drive from midfield, as well as Ruth, who's like a controlling midfield player. So lots of options for him should he want to use it.
Abby Jones saw a lot of the ball in the first half down the left. Times that pass well. Early cross in, looking for Cooper. Not dealt with by Harvey. Maidenhead scramble it away. Jones again. Gladwell still out hugging that touchline down the left. Lovely turn by Jess Treweek there. Just couldn't find the ball into the box. And again, same story from the first half, really, as far as Bournemouth are concerned.
I have to say, good goalkeeping as well there from the cross, and a little bit of a sandwich between her player and a Bournemouth player, being able to come out and punch that clear. Was again looking very confident and assured in the goal there.
Chested down by Jones. Sent out to the right-hand side. Cooper controls it on her back. I'm not sure she knew too much about that. It's a nice touch from Cooper infield. Mortimer sends it out to the right. Captain Smith took over the armband last season. Works for the NHS when she's not in the red and black for Bournemouth. Arrived from Poole Town, did Maisie Smith back in 2018. Real leader for Steve Cuss.
Maisie's been great since she's come to the clubs a few seasons ago. She brings boundless amounts of energy. She can run all day, and I know that she's a well-liked, popular member of the team, which is often important as a captain, but also has the ability to set a really high standard for the team and make sure players are pushing in the right direction at all times.
Elkins looking for the short corner. Instead it will be delivered into the box. Headed clear at the front post and behind for another corner. Take two for Molly Gladwell. Gladwell, another player seeing a fair bit of the ball in that first half. Link it up well with Abby Jones. Down the left-hand side. Still only 16 years of age. Scored the winning goal for the Cherries in a big win against league leaders Exeter earlier in the season. And that's a good delivery. Headed goalwards, headed over. Kelly Fripp getting in there. Fripp wants a corner. Not going to get one.
Great ball in, and that in-swinging cross that we've seen several times today is, causing problems. A real weapon and reaching good areas in the box as well. And touching on Molly slightly. Molly joined us in the summer, as we mentioned in the first half, and played a lot of games in our development side, and really gained experience at this level. Being 16, very late into the pre-season, we had to wait before she could get some minutes with us, and has really gone from strength to strength. And credit to her and her appetite to get better and improve. And we've seen how the physical weapons that she has to really drive past players, and again a real bright spark of our pathway.
Your other fixtures today in Division 1 South West, Moneyfields were due to be at home to second place Cardiff, but that game postponed earlier on. Of the other matches, St Austell against Larkhall Athletic, Exeter, the league leaders, against Selsey, Southampton women at home to Keynsham Town, and Swindon taking on Portishead. So, ball again for Pearl Mortimer to chase. 4 goals in 6 matches so far for Pearl.
Attacking the fans this half, and really love it when a player puts in as much work rate as Pearl just did there, nearly keeping the ball alive, and could potentially have made something of that. Just unfortunate that it goes out for a throw-in, but I'm sure that the crowd is going to have a big impact in the second half, cheering the team on. Amber
Treeweek, who actually made her debut for the Cherries against Maidenhead in the reverse fixture, as we mentioned earlier, provided the assist for the winning goal in that game as well, that 3-2 win earlier on in the season. Again, playing out well from the back there. Another corner to the Cherries. Gladwell will come across to take that one hand in the air signal to the players waiting in the box. Lovely 1-2, and then a low shot comes in. Gemma Harvey does well, down to her left-hand side. Well worked little set piece there from Bournemouth, one off the training ground. Yeah, great to change it up there. I think it caught Maidenhead off guard, and I've seen Molly cut in on that position and really whip it into that far corner. So very similar position actually to a first-team goal here a couple of weeks ago, when he cut in on his left foot and smashed it in. So we'd love to have seen that out there. Just a little stop in play here for injury. Let's bring Holly Humphreys back in as well. Holly, what do you think Steve Cuss would have said to the players at half-time, and what have you made of the way they've come out for the second half so far?
Well, he always says to start the second half off strong. We don't want to let Maidenhead get on top before we've had the chance to do what we can, and just to keep going how we're going, be patient, don't force things, and try and get some goals.
We've spoken a lot about Molly Gladwell as well. What's she like to play with? What's it like having players of a similar age to yourself as well in amongst the squad, when you're trying to break in, trying to find your feet in Steve Cuss's side?
Yeah, I think it's really good to have the young players around you to support you and talk to and play with Molly. It's great.
Just about ready to get back underway. Good to see Alicia Lund back on her feet. Steve Cuss on the edge of his technical area, hasn't left that all afternoon. Clearance forward from Vicky Carville. Caitlin Elliott, again just mopping up on the halfway line. Malhotra with the throw. Infield to the captain Saunders for Maidenhead. Difficult start to the season for Maidenhead without a manager before Ed Jackson Sankey arrived in September.
Nice little intricate play there down the left-hand side from Bournemouth, really sharp. We'd love to see some more of that as the second half develops. But Maidenhead certainly holding their own here in midfield. The ball not really progressing past that point. A couple of fouls stopping the flow of the game a little bit in these early stages of the second half, and perhaps that's a game plan from Maidenhead. But we'd love to see that ball moved, I think, a little bit quicker, and I'm sure Steve's mentioned that slightly at half-time as well.
Bournemouth, so far, dealing with the big occasion, the big crowd well. Just still looking for that final moment of quality inside the Maidenhead box. They've been good at home this season as well, Steve Cuss's side. Just the 2 defeats in their 11 home games. A surprise one probably against Keynsham, and also beaten by Cardiff City at home as well, who look like Cardiff. They may well be heading to the title, second place at the moment. The boos and the jeers ring around Vitality Stadium. And you'll notice, I'm sure, this afternoon, the advertising boards around the ground sporting the Bournemouth University logo, and on the front of the cherry shirts as well today. That partnership providing brilliant opportunities for students across marketing, communications, and with the team itself. At half-time, we had an interview with Kieran Kelleher and Jamie McNulty, 2 sports, exercise and science students who are helping the women's team, Steve Cuss's side, with their expertise at the moment. Here comes Maisie Smith down the right-hand side. Looking for support, finds it from Treweek. Too much on the pass from Treweek.
Again, encouraging little intricate play, and really putting a high press on Maidenhead as well, and to start off the move, finding it slightly difficult to break through us at the moment, which is obviously a great sign, and looks like they're going to go a little bit longer on this kick, try and maybe play off the first ball and win a second, and try and play for a little bit of territory here. They're just finding it tough to get out the half.
Good header in the middle of the park there by Treweek. Ball forward, looking for the run of Molly Gladwell. Early cross in from Gladwell. Here's Cooper, still Cooper, trying to lay it off to Elkins. Good defending from Maidenhead in the end.
So very nearly. 2 players there, ready to go down the outside of the Maidenhead defence, and what would have been a really great opportunity. Just got there, Maidenhead, to stop that from happening. So well done to them, but so close.
I've seen a change for Maidenhead as well, with Eva Thomas sneaking onto the pitch over on the far side. And Alicia Lund going off by the looks of it after that earlier injury. Here's Fisher, still Fisher. Left-footed shot from Fisher straight into the arms of Katie Scadding.
Always got to keep alive, although we've had a lot of the ball and a lot of the territory, that we've got to make sure that we're aware of any counter-attack threat. Obviously, with Alicia Lund coming off, she's 2 goals this season to her name, and that helps Bournemouth in a way. Another good opportunity there. Molly looking lively again second half.
With that early cross into the box with that left foot from Gladwell. And Gemma Harvey having to be on her toes in goal for Maidenhead. Great not just to see the stands packed this afternoon, but the press box opposite us as well, filled with sports journalism students from Bournemouth University. Great preview and opportunity in the matchday programme for young Zach Sampson as well from Bournemouth University sports journalism degree. Covering the women's team ahead of the game. This match day really providing opportunities, and this stage as well, not just for the players out there on the pitch, but across the board really, and that's great to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and we're very much about developing players, which of course you can see today, but we're very much also about developing our staff and making sure that everyone has the opportunity, whether it's the university students looking to build a career or someone that's developing themselves that have maybe been with the trust for a little while. Everyone has opportunities, and days like today really showcase that. And I know a lot of my colleagues are watching from home. Gareth leading the Inspires programme as well.
Lucy Cooper does well to win the ball there and get an early cross into the box. Can't pick out Mortimer, but will get a second chance. Cooper again resets with Maisie Smith. Good block from Bethan Poole. Poole with a good chance to give Maidenhead the lead at the end of the first half, but unable to hit the target and test Katie Scadding. It's the substitute Thomas over on the right now for Maidenhead. Mal Hotra joining in as well.
Game seems to really have come alive a little bit in the last 5 minutes. The crowd and the noise they're making, fantastic, getting up for every challenge and every run and every pass, which is really providing a spark to the game. And Bournemouth certainly seem to have increased the tempo of their play.
Clearance forward there from Treweek. Too much on it, way too much on it. Time for Harvey to gather and send the ball back into the Cherries' half. Jones with the header.
Interesting that we've seen Maidenhead come out at the start of the second half and want to try and build out from the back, and finding that hard and adapting, and I think that's credit to them and credit to their management team for identifying that they were finding it hard and Bournemouth were locking on a high press and have started to turn the tide a little bit and make the game a little bit more scrappy around the middle third, which we see them pick up the ball again here.
Good tackle from Maisie, well read there. Brilliant interception. She'll send Cooper away. Good goalkeeping from Gemma Harvey. You sense, you feel something's building for Bournemouth in this second half. Cooper with a few opportunities already down this right-hand side.
And Bournemouth showing how dangerous they can be if you give the ball away in midfield. Slightly overhit pass, of course, but had that gone through, another real opportunity on the counter-attack. So Maidenhead have got to be careful if they want to make the game a little bit more in that middle area.
Two good tackles in there from Treweek. And the clearance from Maidenhead. Maisie Smith will take the throw-in. Looks like we could see a change imminently for Bournemouth as well.
Christina McKinnon there, I believe, warming up on the sides, getting some final instructions from assistant manager Matt Devine. Christina, a player that's very raw, very lively, loves having the ball, will certainly run at players. I think with the space that we've seen in behind Maidenhead at the moment, could certainly cause a big problem on what would be a senior first team debut.
Smith goes into the middle this time, looking for Mortimer. Another chance for Smith to get the delivery right, this time with the throw-in. Movement from Treweek down the line. It's a nice touch, too much on it. Goal kick to Maidenhead. Dave, was Bournemouth's first season at this level last season. Second place finish, 5 points behind Cheltenham. I know they can't get to second this season, could still get to third. How do you view that in terms of progress? Because as we said at the start, there's been big changes, a lot of experience has left the side over the summer, and it's a young squad now that Steve Cuss is rebuilding with.
Yeah, definitely. We went through a bit of a transition in the summer. We were disappointed that we didn't quite get over the line last year. We want to kick on again. Like I said, we lost a few. I'll just cut back to you here.
Cooper with the cross. Treweek lurking on the edge of the box. Cries of shoot. Treweek doesn't disappoint.
So we felt slightly disappointed we didn't go up last year. We've really regrouped. A real young group. I mean, 18, just under 19, our average age in the squad today. And we want to continue to be ambitious and we want to continue to push on. But that certainly won't be at the expense of developing our youth players and bringing them through. Like as we said earlier, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And we want to continue to be ambitious, and hopefully we can reach that tier 3 and continue to kick on, particularly with the backing you mentioned earlier of the new ownership here at the club.
Sarah Thompson getting the boos at the back for Maidenhead. She's become the pantomime villain for the day. A good battle over there on the far side. Abby Jones right in the thick of it.
The crowd are absolutely loving this. Everything happening down in front of the crowd, and you know, we say in jest a little bit that the crowd are getting involved, but how are the players going to deal with that? Would never have experienced 3,000 people booing them or 3,000 people, you know, cheering on the opposition. So it's really important that they take time to adjust, but also from our point of view, maybe let it get to their heads a little bit as well, so we can take advantage. Jones
and Eva Thomas battling it out. Jones coming out on top, wins the free kick, which she'll take over on the far side now. It's a delivery deep into the 18-yard area, comes back out on the volley. Elkins with the shot. Good block in there. That's Megan Halfacre that's ended up on the turf. Another chance to see that free kick. It was a dangerous delivery. It was the initial headed clearance there from Halfacre.
Yeah,
clash of heads.
Yeah, collision there with Jess Cherick. She seems absolutely fine. Obviously, the referee right to blow very quickly and make sure that any medical care that is required is able to come on. She's clearly okay, which is absolutely great news, because it did look like a nasty little collision there.
Referee Don Forrester will just get play restarted again through Gemma Harvey in goal for Maidenhead. Maisie Smith with the slip. Gives time for Cowell to bring it under control, and they'll send it forward looking for Imogen Fisher. Fisher just seems to be playing a little bit more advanced in this second half alongside Cowell up top. Still dropping into that number 10 role. Here's Cooper again flying down the right for the Cherries. Got Mortimer in the middle. Cleared by Maidenhead. Treweek lurking for Bournemouth to pick up the pieces. Maisie Smith's there again as well down the right. Again, it was Cooper involved for the Cherries. And again, it was just that final bit of quality, Dave, in terms of picking out a red and black shirt in the middle.
Yeah, maybe one or two touches too many there. I'd maybe like to have seen Lucy really whip that in with the defenders running back to their own goal. Just took a couple more touches and they were able to clear. But again, promising counter-attack from regaining the ball in that middle third. So Maidenhead have been warned a couple of times in that regard. So it'll be interesting to see if they employ a slightly more direct game to try and cut off those opportunities for their Cherries.
Play will come back for the throw in there. Cowell just unable to keep it in. She tried to play in Imogen Fisher. They've been the two danger players really for Maidenhead in this game so far. That's as you'd expect as well, with 15 goals between them so far this season. Free kick to Maidenhead. Imogen Fisher as well combines her duties playing for Maidenhead as an army nurse and for the army side as well. Recently involved in the inter-services tri-tournament. This is up to try and win that header, but beaten to it by Treweek. It'll fall to Malhotra over on the right. Little untidy there from Elkins, and Maidenhead will win it back.
You can see Cooper and Mortimer ready to pounce should that ball turn over, as it does right now. And had to take the free kick there, didn't have a lot of other option, and probably going to go into the book here perhaps, but you can really see that maybe that's the subtle change that Steve and Matt have spoken about at half-time, is to leave Cooper that little bit higher on that right-hand side. We've seen opportunities for her. We did see in the first half her doing her element of tracking back and defending, but it seems that she's given that little bit more license to stay a little bit higher and really offer that threat off the shoulder.
Maidenhead captain Amy Saunders becomes the second player for Maidenhead to go into referee Dom Forrester's book. Megan Halfacre booked in the first half. And we're going to see that change for the Cherries now. Ellie Elkins heading off. And what a moment this is for young Christina McKinnon, just 16 years of age, on to make her debut for Bournemouth at Vitality Stadium in front of around 3,000 supporters. She'll remember that for a very long time. Let's see what kind of impact she can have in these final 20 minutes or so.
Looks like she's slotted into the midfield position, so a like-for-like switch with Elkins there. And Christina's been aware of our community programs for a long time. So Christina is a local girl to the area, has played a lot of our Kicks community sessions, which is a great social session, a lot of free of charge work for boys and girls in the area, and joined our girls teams quite late in the process, came through for a year in our under-14s and has now played and continues to play in our under-16 environment, and a real great success story for bringing through local talent as well as just talent that we're looking for in general all the time.
That's the voice of Dave Stadden, Women's Development Squad Manager. Cherries defender Holly Humphreys here with us on commentary duty as well. We'll bring Holly back in a second. Let's just see this free kick out for the Cherries. Caitlin Elliott stood over it, delivers towards the back post. Headed clear in there by Sarah Thompson, behind for a corner to Bournemouth.
Be interested to see if Bournemouth choose a right footer here. It seems to have put the goalkeeper under a little bit of pressure the last time. Yeah, making the change now. Looks like Jess Truett's going to come across and in-swing that ball in on top of the goalkeeper. We've seen Fripp have a header early on that's just went over the bar. So let's see what we can make of this.
Jess Truitt with the delivery. It's a dangerous one again inside the 6-yard area. Here is McKinnon. McKinnon again. That would have had the North Stand on its feet. What a first touch that would have been for Christina McKinnon. Wins another corner for the Cherries. Again, it's the right-footed delivery. This time deeper. McKinnon again in the thick of it. Cleared by Saunders for Maidenhead. Once and then again with the second header. Abby Jones sweeping up at the back.
What a dream start that would have been for young McKinnon there. Ball just nearly finding her in the perfect space. That would have been an excellent start, and I'm sure she will bring a lot of endeavour and a lot of spirit and energy into that midfield. And she can get that eye for goal even better.
Molly Gladwell. McKinnon. Good turn of pace from McKinnon there. Just too much on the touch. Halfacre from Maidenhead, trying to find Cowell.
We can see looks like a double substitution being lined up by Maidenhead. You can start to see perhaps that they're starting to tire a little bit. Bournemouth keeping them under a lot of pressure, and Lucy Cooper again off with lots of space down the right hand side. Again,
support arrives from Smith. 1-2. Space for Cooper to deliver. She does deliver to the back post. Important header from Malhotra to clear there. Gladwell was lurking at the back post. Another bright moment for the Cherries. Let's bring Holly Humphreys back in. Holly, have you played much with Christina McKinnon? What's she like as a player and a teammate?
Yeah, I played in the under-16s with her. She's great. Good member of the team to have. Very attacking down the wing usually. Scored a few goals for us.
Did you speak much about today and the occasion? I know, unfortunately, due to your injury, you've not been able to play yourself, but in terms of what it would mean to her if she was able to get on.
Yeah, I'm sure she's been very excited about playing, especially making her debut at the stadium with all the fans watching, the atmosphere and things, so it's probably very exciting for her.
Good goalkeeping in there from Harvey. Danger still not clear though, chance possibly for Bournemouth. Cleared by Maidenhead.
Pressure is starting to become very, very intense on the Maidenhead defence at the moment. It certainly looks like Bournemouth are going to continue to pile on the pressure, and again, just got to create that one clear-cut opportunity. And Pearl, normally with a much better first touch than that, can turn and spin, but again, very, very close to another goal.
Yeah, the ball has barely been in Bournemouth's half in this second 45. Been a very quiet second half for Katie Scadding in goal for the Cherries, but still we wait for the breakthrough. Triple change incoming for Maidenhead United. No substitutes boards here today, so we'll do our best to try and work out for you who's coming on. Looks like Captain Amy Saunders is heading off. Natalie Cowell's afternoon done as well. It's been a tough afternoon for her up front on her own.
I think the triple change here makes complete sense from a Maidenhead point of view, and hopefully they can raise those energy levels and try and give them the opportunity to get a little bit higher up the pitch, whether that be through a direct dribble, pick the ball up and go, or someone to run and stretch the Bournemouth back line. It's all very comfortable for them at the moment. But remember, the emphasis is really on the home side to try and unlock the door here. And while we're still at 0-0, Maidenhead will be pleased, and Bournemouth will be continuing to try and unlock the door.
Betham Poole heading off as well for Maidenhead. She had that great opportunity at the end of the first half to give the visitors the lead, but was unable to hit the target. Ines Cipriano, the midfielders, come on. Simone O'Brien down the left as well, wearing the number 11. Be a free kick to Maidenhead over on the far side, which Sarah Thompson will take. Izzy Stockton, the third of the triple substitutes, making their way onto the field for Maidenhead as well. Across to the edge of the box, dealt with once, and then O'Brien shot goalwards, comfortable for Scadding.
Slightly disappointed they didn't make slightly more of that when the ball comes out and play on the edge of the box there. Maybe a chance to recycle it rather than shoot, and try and just keep the ball in the Bournemouth third that little bit longer. But set pieces will certainly be something Maidenhead will look for, but they'll be disappointed maybe they didn't make a little bit more of that after it dropped out the box.
Cooper and Smith linking up again down the right. Truick joining in.
You can see here how deep just off your screen, how deep the striker coming number 8 there, Imogen Fisher for Maidenhead, basically defending near the edge of a box, leaving no real attacking outlet for them. So Bournemouth should be able to keep pressure on here.
Lovely turn from Cooper, being held as well. She wants a free kick, she'll get the free kick.
Third player going into the book here as well. Nice sharp turn by Lucy on the edge of the box, and was certainly going to be a good opportunity. So the yellow card very much deserved here.
It's a red card, it's Halfacre, it's a second yellow card, and Maidenhead are reduced to 10. And difficult to say, she can have too many complaints there. Clear, blatant foul on Cooper, moving into a dangerous position. And the boos ring around Vitality Stadium for Megan Halfacre. Booked in the first half, second yellow in the second, and she heads straight down the tunnel, and Bournemouth will have a free kick in a dangerous position.
Referee left for no choice really. Obviously you don't wish any player to leave the pitch on such a great occasion as today, but left the referee with no choice. And now if Bournemouth can get this goal early on, you'd think they'd find it quite comfortable towards the end of the game.
Molly Gladwell to deliver. Again, both centre-backs forward. It's towards the back post. It's headed clear by Cipriano. Maisie Smith can't keep it in over on the far side. Can Bournemouth make the most of having the extra player?
Be interesting to see if Steve Cuss and Matt Devine are dug out just having a chat there. I can see on the edge of the technical area. Look to make a little bit of a change to their formation, whether they can recognise that the Maidenhead players are perhaps dropping off. Could we get an extra player into midfield and forward lines? But I'm sure they've thought of every possibility, and it'd be interesting to see if any more substitutes are reached for.
Fripp clears at the back, then Elliott joins in as well. Lovely turn in there from McKinnon. It's a nice ball down the line. Here is Gladwell with the cross. Appeals for handball, just be a corner. How about that turn in there from Christina McKinnon?
Yeah, she's had a great impact on the game in the short time that she's been on. A lovely weighted pass, but the turn, that's what Christina's capable of, and I'm sure that comes from a lot of street football and a lot of those development sessions that I mentioned about previously.
16 years old, AFC Bournemouth debut in front of around 3,000 supporters, a record crowd, absolutely no signs of nerves so far. In towards the box, headed goalwards. Kelly Fripp it was who got there. Straight at Gemma Harvey.
Good opportunity, Kelly Fripp making a run towards that near post and getting a good contact with the goalkeeper again in a good position, safe handling, able to deal with and fall on the ball.
Sense it's going to be a really interesting final 10 minutes of this game. Bournemouth having the extra player now. Will this record crowd get treated to a goal or two? Still, we wait for the breakthrough.
A couple of things that the Bournemouth are going to want to make sure that they're doing in the last 10 minutes is quick throw-ins, getting to the ball fast, quick restarts, corners, goal kicks. We want the ball in play as much as possible to make this 10-player Maidenhead really work as long and as hard as we can and really try and break them down. Remember, scoring more goals would be nice, and we'd love to treat the fans, I'm sure, to more goals, but one will be enough with 10 minutes to go.
It's Maidenhead who come forward now, though, through Imogen Fisher, who's moved from that number 10 role to more advanced striking position. Following the substitution of Cowell, Maidenhead win the free kick.
These are situations that Bournemouth are going to have to be really concentrated on. Making sure that they're getting first contacts and having players that are aware of where that ball might drop. Should it not be cleared in the first instance. I'm sure Maidenhead will have waited for opportunities for set pieces to put the ball in the box.
Gemma Blore stood over the free kick for Maidenhead. It's a low one. It's cleared by Amber Treweek. Lucy Cooper. Risky pass back to centre back. Amber Treweek does really well. Draws the foul from Fisher.
Again, Scadding racing to the ball here to try and get it back in play as quick as they can. They really want to get this ball moving, the Cherries, so that we can try and advance that ball and to get that goal-scoring opportunity that our second half dominance of possession would suggest we might create.
Steve Cuss is preparing to throw on his final 3 substitutes as well. Here's Elliott. Forward to Mortimer. Still Mortimer. Good tackle in there from Eva Thomas. They'll look for the early ball forward towards Fisher. Fisher does really well there to win it back and hold on to it. Still Fisher. Good, solid, battling tackle from Amber Treweek. Ball comes back into the box. Not dealt with. O'Brien. Not enough power behind the shot.
Little overload there at the back post. 2v1. And again, opportunity that perhaps with a little bit more composure they might have made a little bit more of. And Bournemouth on the attack down the left.
Cross into the box. Treweek at the back post. Cries of shoot. She does shoot. What a save that is away to the right-hand side by Harvey.
Harvey been very impressive throughout today, very short in her play, and again a great save. Perhaps the shot, be interesting to see on the replay if it's slightly going wide, slightly lost the balance. No, great save, and well done to the defender to be able to cover that as a triple change for the home side.
Caitlin Elliott heading off.
Replaced by Ruth Topping coming into midfield.
Jess Trewick's final action of the game as well, that shot, which was saved by Gemma Harvey. And captain Maisie Smith as well.
Hannah Francis replacing Smith. Hannah is a really powerful running midfield player, loves to go past players, certainly not frightened to tackle and drive forward with the ball. So great to see her come on, perhaps she can make the difference. And the final change, Hannah Hughes, tricky winger, very, very good feet and an eye for a goal. Very, very positive moves there from the bench to utilise some further forward players.
Cleared by Maidenhead through Thompson. Another throw in on the far side. Looking for Cooper. And again from Gladwell looking for Cooper. Bournemouth win themselves a corner.
Would suggest a possible slight change in formation with a back three now, but we'll have a chance to see that after the corner and in the next phase of play.
Outswinging this time from Gladwell. It's a good one towards the penalty spot. Drops for Cooper, shoots goalwards. Deflected wide, another corner. Still Bournemouth can't find the goal.
Maidenhead hanging on in there. Hanging on in there. Can we make the difference here? Gladwell coming across again. This time it's going to be a real in-swinging cross. Can we time those runs, hold out that little bit longer and really go and attack that ball?
16-year-old Molly Gladwell to deliver the corner. Under the crossbar this time. Drops. Lucy Cooper. Lovely touch. And they come back out again to McKinnon. Bournemouth just can't bundle it home at the moment. This crowd is desperate to try and suck that ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, we're gonna need you. We're gonna need you to help us increase that encourage and drive the team on with 5 minutes of normal time to play.
Really dangerous.
Get that one opportunity.
Really dangerous corner into the box, that from Molly Gladwell. Caused Maidenhead all sorts of problems. Lucy Cooper just struggling to find enough room to really test Gemma Harvey.
Certainly looks like a back three for Bournemouth now. So an attacking move. Hannah Francis playing as a right wing back with Molly Gladwell as the left wing back. I'm sure they're going to push on nice and high. Lucy Cooper joining Pearl Mortimer as a central striker, with Hannah Hughes and Christina McKinnon coming from midfield.
It's Pearl Mortimer, can't find the pass. Maidenhead will hold it up through Fisher. Too much on that ball forward, so Scaddon can come out and sweep up at the back for the Cherries. Looks for Francis down the right. Clearance will ricochet to O'Brien. Her cross in is headed away by Amber Trewick.
Utilising switches of play against a tiring Maidenhead with down to 10 players. It's going to be really important. Can we work the ball with quality from one side to the other and look to continue to get crosses into the box, or certainly those little slip passes for Lucy and Pearl in the final third?
Trewick again with the clearance. As much as we've talked about the final third in Bournemouth going forward, Amber has had an incredible game at the back. Nothing's got past her so far, and here come the Cherries again down the right. Lucy Cooper flying forward, still Cooper. Good tackle in there from Gemma Blore. Again, just as Lucy Cooper was trying to find room for the shot.
Seen similar pictures throughout the game from Lucy coming in off this right-hand side, now making the run from a central striking position. Like to have seen her get that shot away that little bit earlier. Can we work the goalkeeper from open play a little bit more?
And again, Gladwell comes to take the corner. Another testing one for Maidenhead. Back out to Topping on the edge of the box. Steel roof topping, does really well, lays it off to McKinnon. Topping's there again, support down the left-hand side. Through Mortimer. Izzy Stockton just turns away from trouble and calms things down for the visitors. Ava Thomas down the right, cut off by Bournemouth. McKinnon, Cooper coming back from an offside position. Spotted by the referee's assistant.
Ambition there from Maidenhead, coming out looking like they may want to launch a little bit of a counter-attack there. Just slowed it down, probably sensible, given that in the 88th minute they'll probably take the point from this point on. So sensible play from them, and again, when you lose the ball in that midfield, Bournemouth really have the ability to try and find those spaces in behind. This time both Mortimer and Cooper just not quite getting back in time on that quick transition.
Free kick will be taken by Gemma Blore. Here's O'Brien, edge of the Bournemouth box. Does well, does O'Brien. Gets a curling shot away, not curling enough. Been a very quiet second half for Katie Scadding.
Wants to get this ball moving forward a little bit quicker here as we tick into the 90th minute.
Clearance to the halfway line. Headed away by Shyla Cartney-Dehaney. That's a good ball forward, looking for the run of Mortimer. Onto her right foot, early cross in. And Francis lurking at the back post. Bournemouth will go again through Fripp. Left to that central defensive three for Bournemouth now. Gladwell. Good change of pace and good feet as well from Gladwell. Time running out for Bournemouth to find themselves a winner.
Getting a very good block together, Maidenhead. You can see the defence and midfield close together, making it very difficult for Bournemouth to access one pass in between their defence and attack, which makes that pass that little bit easier for the centre forwards to run onto.
5 minutes stoppage time for Bournemouth to try and find themselves a winner against the 10 players of Maidenhead United, who had Megan Halfacre sent off in this second half for a second yellow card. Will we be in for a dramatic final 5 minutes on the live stream, brought to you courtesy of ESET.
I would not be turning the streams off if I'm sat at home now. Stay right till the end, and hopefully the positive vibes you're giving us down the stream and in the stadium here will be enough to will the girls on to get that goal that is deserved for the possession. Okay, but just lacking that little bit of cutting edge this afternoon, but plenty of time still to go. Can we make something happen?
Another yellow card, this time for Sarah Thompson, who's been coming in for some flack all game from the home supporters. Free kick for the Cherries then. Amber Traweek to deliver. Too much on that one. Headed behind by Sarah Thompson for a corner. Probably could have had a shout there from her goalkeeper Gemma Harvey.
I think that's where the crowd come into play. I mentioned it earlier that you're not used to playing in front of nearly 3,500 people, and they're winning that ball in the box, waiting for some excitement, and the noise level rises. Perhaps she's not heard the shout from her goalkeeper. So from Maidenhead's point of view, an unnecessary corner, but can Bournemouth take advantage?
Molly Gladwell's put in some brilliant deliveries so far. Can she find the perfect one? Headed clear. Going to come back out. Cooper's there. Bournemouth with players lurking. Hannah Hughes fires goalwards.
Huge credit to Maidenhead. They've defended everything that we've thrown at them in the second half here. Bodies on the line with a block there on the edge of the box.
Francis back to Jones. Jones does really well. Traweek peels off in the middle. Fripp's wide left as well. Cut off really well there by Eva Thomas, who's played well since coming on the second half. Gladwell with the throw down the line, looking for Mortimer. Mortimer unable to bring it under control.
Finding it difficult, Bournemouth, to build sustained pressure, keeping the ball in the attacking third for as long as possible. Maidenhead will be pleased with the stoppages in play. Another throw in here where they can slow the game down, take their time. We've got a player going down with shoelaces, who interestingly hasn't informed the referee, so that might work in Bournemouth's favour.
One back well by Gladwell, trying to find Mortimer again down the line. Too much on that.
And again, ball goes out of play, the game slows down. You lose momentum in your attacks to try and keep the Maidenhead pressure.
Amber Treweek named man of the match at the back for Bournemouth. Difficult to argue with that, Dave.
Yeah, well deserved from Amber. She's done exactly what you would want of her today. She's dominated in the air, she's dominated her duels, and played some very good passes forward, particularly in the first half, linking up with Pearl Mortimer. So yeah, she'll be delighted to be man of the match at the Vitality Stadium. It's the type of thing you take with you and you tell your grandkids in many years to come.
Bournemouth defender Holly Humphreys with us on commentary as well. Holly, what have you made of Amber's contribution at the back today?
Yeah, I think she's been solid at the back today, not made any mistakes and played some good balls forward.
Still Bournemouth, though, finding it difficult to find themselves a winner. Deep into stoppage time here at Vitality Stadium in front of a record-breaking crowd for the women's team. They win themselves a free kick in a dangerous position. They're going to send everyone forward bar Katie Scadding.
We would suggest that this might be the very last chance of the game, looking at the watch here. So do they throw everybody in the box? Scadding stays back on the halfway line, the Bournemouth goalkeeper. Topping also offers an option on the outside of the box. Should it be very busy?
Abby Jones stands over the ball, waits to deliver the cross. Mind games from Kelly Fripp, stood in front of Gemma Harvey, the Maidenhead goalkeeper, just trying to put her off.
Abby Jones has got to deliver this with pace. It's almost a shot cross that you're looking for here. Can it hit something and go in?
Last chance for the Cherries. Jones to the back post. It skims the crossbar. Goes behind for a goal kick, and maybe that's the 3 points with it as well. Bournemouth just haven't been able to break down the 10 players of Maidenhead since they had Megan Halfacre sent off, and you have to give Maidenhead credit for the way they've defended as well.
Yeah, they've been excellent. They'll be absolutely delighted with a point, I'm sure. Coming here, big day for their players as well as the Bournemouth players, and going down to 10 men and being under a lot of time without the ball. But here they launch an attacker themselves right at the end of the game.
Izzy Stockton down the right. Will we get a rare chance at the other end? Here's O'Brien. Still O'Brien trying to find the return pass to Stockton. Again, man. Player of the match, Amber Treweek. With a brilliant block at the back.
Got to go forward, Katie. Can we get that ball forward quickly? But we're out of time here.
And there is the full-time whistle. Honours even, a point apiece. But what an occasion for the players out there this afternoon in front of a record-breaking crowd of around 3,000 supporters. It finishes goalless. Bournemouth unable to break down the 10 players of Maidenhead United, who had Megan Halfacre sent off in the second half for a second yellow card. Big hugs down there for Gemma Harvey in goal for Maidenhead. A clean sheet at both ends. A brilliant performance from Amber Treweek, its centre-back for Bournemouth. Dave Staddon, your overall assessment?
First of all, the result obviously not what we were after. We'd love to have come here today and been able to entertain a really great crowd, and they're getting a big thank there from Mike Botto, and deservedly so. Obviously disappointed we haven't scored. Had enough promising opportunities where we perhaps didn't quite pick the right option at the right time, or when we didn't quite have the conviction that was necessary to take that. But overall, when you look at it as a big occasion, we had 1,600 last year. over 3,000 this year, hopefully more again, and we can continue to play more games at this stadium and continue to entertain you on the streams as well.
And Dave, just talking about the key moments, we start with the red card. We thought that might bring the winner. I don't think Megan Halfacre can have too many complaints with the second yellow card in the second half, with Lucy Cooper advancing into a pretty dangerous position.
Yeah, it was a great turn from Lucy, and Lucy's got that. She's sharp, she's nimble, and she had no complaints. She brought her down on the edge of the box, pulled her shirt, and from that point of view, the referee's got a tough decision to make, and he has to follow the laws of the game. And it was unfortunately for her that she had to be sent off, and no one wants to see that. We hope that she's back out with her team doing the huddle here and getting the pictures, and that she'll still have a fond memory of the day.
I know we've lost the replays on our screen in front of us, but some of the key chances as well, as far as Bournemouth were concerned, what stood out to you?
I think Ellie Elkins early in the first half, the cross towards the back post that just couldn't quite get the footwork sorted in time. The quickness of the pitch, no doubt, having an impact on not being used to something as silky and smooth as it is here at the Vitality Stadium. So well done to the ground staff here for that. And I think obviously the biggest chance of the game probably fell to Maidenhead towards the end of the first half, picking the ball down and bobbling around the box from a corner and firing narrowly over the bar. And that's probably the biggest chance of the whole game, which would be disappointing from the Bournemouth point of view. But what a great advert for women's football, especially if you like a bit of a tactical battle.
And it was a very quiet second half for Katie Scanning and goal for Bournemouth, and largely due to the defensive display from the Cherries. And just a final word for Amber Trawick as well, named player of the match by this record-breaking crowd this afternoon, and the sponsors as well, and thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, Amber's been great for us since she's come into the club, and she's really bought into what we want to do. And when you join a team later into the season, it can sometimes be hard to feel how you integrate and gain a place in the team, but she's done that really, really well. And she's dealt with everything that was thrown at her today, a real class act in the back line. And I know her family are big Bournemouth supporters, so to leave here with the player of the match, I'm sure her sister will be delighted, but there'll be a hint of jealousy in there that she didn't grab the headlines herself, Jess, particularly when she had a shot early in the first half. But really, really great for Amber, and really, really pleased for all of the players and the way they've conducted themselves today.
Looking ahead, it's 2 league games to go. This probably, if it wasn't already, hands the advantage for third spot to Moneyfields, but there's that big Hampshire Cup final to come as well against Southampton, as you said, which will be a huge occasion and a chance to lift the trophy at the end of the season. Yeah,
we'll continue to prep as we do for all games. For the remaining 2 games at Larkhall and Chelsea, it will still be tough opposition, and they'll have lots to play for still, with Larkhall obviously in a relegation battle. But the cup final is the big sun on the horizon. We really want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to give ourselves a great chance against what will be a strong Southampton RTC team, but we're really looking forward to the challenge. And as we've mentioned a lot, the development of our players is always at the forefront of our mind. So to go and challenge ourselves against our South Coast rivals on the 10th of May will be another great experience.
And finally, Dave, the last one on the crowd, a record-breaking number. Lots of them have stuck around now to meet the players who are over there signing autographs, having selfies taken. What will this do for them in terms of an experience? And I guess going forward now as well, it sounds like we're going to see a lot more of this in this AFC Bournemouth women's team under Steve Cuss, and yourself as well, right down through the age groups, is only going to grow and grow.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you very much to all of the team here behind the scenes that have made the day possible. We'd love to continue to play more here, and I'm sure that there are ongoing discussions for that to happen. We've seen that all the young girls and families all the way up through that will now get their top signed and match day programs and player cards that were available in the club shop, and the players will love signing every single one of them and then really soaking it up. And I'm sure if you check out any of their Instagram, there'll be pictures all over the place for the next month. So that's really, really great, and we want more days like this. We work really hard as a group of staff across the whole department, not just the women and girls, but the whole Community Sport Trust, to identify talent, give them the best opportunities that we possibly can. And then if you're fortunate enough to fall this side of the pathway and make it towards the women's teams, you get days like this. And it's been a really, really great day, and I think we've shown off AFC Bournemouth and AFC Bournemouth Community Sport Trust in the best possible light.
Dave Stadden, thank you very much for joining us on commentary on the live stream this afternoon. Thank you to Bournemouth defender Holly Humphreys as well, who's left us now to head down and enjoy some of those moments with the rest of her teammates pitch side. And thank you for watching, and to our sponsors ESET as well. Full time here at the Vitality Stadium on a record-breaking day for the AFC Bournemouth women's team. It's finished Bournemouth 0, Maidenhead United 0.